February 13th, the Big Meech home benefit concert. It's gonna be iconic. Too many names. That might be why when I stood next to Meech, your knees buckled. Your knees buckled. Put your back against the wall. This boss Ricky Rose just got word. Meech concert not happening tonight, but 305 is going down at the office. Meet us there. Bam!
Big Meech is calling out Rick Ross for leaving him high and dry after selling him a dream he never cashed in on. And let's be honest, Meech isn't just mad, he's fuming. When he linked with Rose, it wasn't just about tracks dropping. It was about loyalty, money moves, and mutual respect. Ross knew exactly the game he was playing. He came in loud, making bold promises, new show, fat budgets, and even a massive welcome home concert to crown Meech's return. At first, it looked like a boss move. But now, Ross has vanished. None of it came through, and he's out here looking real uneasy. And truth be told, he should be. Because if there's one thing everybody knows about Big Meech, it's that betrayal doesn't sit on his chest lightly, and payback, that's his language. Adding more gas to the fire, 50 Cent's been relentless ever since that Ross collab went public. The moment that Welcome Home concert got teased, 50 jumped on IG and clowned it hard. Back when Meech first touched down, Ross hyped it up like it was going to be history, a blockbuster show to shift the culture. But it turned out to be nothing but smoke and mirrors. Meech was supposed to get a fat slice of the ticket money, supposed to be a real payday. But here's the kicker, that big concert never even happened. At the 11th hour, it all got axed. Word is, federal agents pulled up with papers that killed the whole plan. And that's when the whispers started flying. Because really, who's got that kind of pull to shut down a move that big? A lot of fingers started pointing at 50 Cent, saying he was the one pulling the strings behind the curtain. And if that's true, it wasn't about the law, it was pure spite toward Ross. Now, 50 never flat out said he was behind it, but he sure made it look like a joke to him. When Boozy Boas brought it up on Vlad TV, 50 slid straight to Instagram, cracking on the whole situation. Hey, just asking for a friend. So is the show cancelled or what? He wrote straight disrespect. And remember, 50 called it before it even happened, said it was going to get shut down, then played the innocent bystander while watching it burn. But the part that really cuts, when the deal fell apart and Meech was left dry, Ross didn't move a muscle, stayed quiet, just sat back, using Meech as a pawn in his never-ending chess match with 50. Recently, 50 Cent stirred the pot again, posting a photo of Tammy Cowan. She's been accused of working with the feds, but he didn't stop at the picture. He went a step further and dropped alleged text messages between him and Tammy. In those texts, 50 straight up asked if Meech knew she was cooperating with the feds while he was still behind bars. And the wild part, she actually gave him more info. 50 even captioned it, "Tammy Cowan's the truth, and nothing but the truth." Coming soon, that alone sent the blogs into overdrive. And just last week, 50 was already pressing Meech with those snitching claims. He wrote, "Listen close, Big Screech. Don't forget you told Tammy Cowans to tell for that time cut, sucker." Then, in classic 50 fashion, he slapped all his brands under a trolling with a side of business. And here's where it really spirals, because it's not just 50 saying it. Blue Da Vinci and Cuffy have been talking, too, claiming Meech played a part in them ending up locked down. According to them, he used Tammy as the middle piece, which makes that Big Screech nickname hit a lot harder. So this ain't just a random rumor 50 whipped up for clout. People in the industry been whispering this for a minute, and the way it's shaping up, there might be more truth hiding in those shadows than Meech wants out.
He said, how did Meech have information on you and give it to Tammy so you could get caught up in it? How did that happen? So that means you got to go back to the movies.
Okay, so
right, that's
Meech and Tammy was trying to get Suarez.
Oh, Meech and Tammy was trying to get Suarez.
Exactly. But when the government found out she was in contact with me, they switched the investigation toward me.
50 didn't stop at Big Meech, he pulled Lil Meech into the storm too. Before all this heat, 50 was actually riding hard for Lil Meech. Serious backing. He put money into acting classes, polished him up for that lead role in the BMF series. He even helped set his business up behind the scenes. That's deeper than a deal, that's mentorship. And when those whispers started swirling about Lil Meech battling substance issues, 50 stepped in himself, sent him straight to rehab, and covered the tab from his own pocket. That's the level they were at, a real hands-on bond, like a big brother making sure the young one didn't crash out.
Watching movies, I'm like, man, acting must just be reading lines off of paper, like something like this. And when I get there, they're like, hey, don't look at the paper. Imagine your mom and dad in the casket right now.
But then came the flip. Big Meech started cozying up with Rick Ross, and the second that happened, 50 Cent washed his hands of the whole crew. He even said straight up he was cutting off the BMF series, the same show Lil Meech counts on for his bread. Now it's looking like both father and son could be left in the dust, and 50 is not holding back at all. He's been extra grimy with the promo too. Every time he posts about BMF, he's been blurring or tweaking Lil Meech's face like he's trying to erase him from history. Total disrespect. And when that so-called Welcome Home concert fell apart, Rick Ross didn't take the L quietly. Instead of admitting the flop, Ross got even louder, bragging that he was about to create his own BMF series, and not just any. A series. He swore his version would have a bigger budget than 50's. Shots fired once again.
So look, I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small budget series. Now it's time to do a big budget.
That whole BMF series plan was supposed to be Big Meech's last big shot. If Ross had delivered, Meech would have locked in a serious bag and bounced back strong. But like every other promise Ross tossed out, it fizzled. All bark, no bite. And here's the piece Ross didn't want out there: 50 Cent actually owns the full TV and film rights to the Black Mafia family story, meaning Ross couldn't legally drop a BMF series without 50 signing off first. So all that flexing, pure smoke. Meanwhile, Meech is left broke, still waiting on dreams that never came true. And while Meech takes the hits, 50 keeps dragging him online non-stop clowning. What makes it even worse, Ross hasn't said a word to defend him. He was loud when he was using Meech's name to take aim at 50, but now that it's crumbling, nothing but silence. And this is exactly why 50's been mocking Ross for years. He's always said Ross only mentions his name to stay trending. Anytime Ross wants headlines, he throws a little shade at 50. And looking at it now, it's clear Ross rode that BMF wave just to poke the bear.
For him, outside of mentioning me, when things get bad, you mention me, it gets cuddly.
And just recently, out of nowhere, Rick Ross fired back at 50 again, but this time, he crossed a major line. In an IG story clip, Ross went off dragging 50 Cent's late mother while talking reckless. He bragged heavy, claiming he's the only one who ever really hurt 50's pride. Ross even pulled Tony Yoyo's name in, saying he warned 50 he was making a huge mistake. Straight disrespect, way too personal.
Oh, that they say I was the only person that 50 Cent up. I ain't know that. I'ma be honest. Tony Yayo told 50 Cent himself. Y'all could Google it.
But Ross didn't stop there. He kept throwing shade. This time he targeted Tony Yayo and Uncle Morda, saying they looked washed up and needed facials. Pure trolling energy. Of course, Yayo wasn't about to let that slide. He fired back, saying he's used to being dragged into 50's wars just because of how solid their bond is. And let's be real, Yayo has always stood 10 toes down for 50 since day one. That kind of loyalty. Ross can't stand it.
Tony Yayo said, I wouldn't do that if I was, cause Tony Yayo know them niggas ain't got no money. Come on, man, look at Tony Yayo and Auntie them niggas need.
And Ross still wasn't done. After going below the belt, he switched gears and came for 50's business moves. This time, he mocked the G-Unit Studios project down in Louisiana, saying 50 couldn't even get it finished. Ross claimed the reason was simple: 50's pockets are dry, and the banks won't give him loans anymore. Straight shots at his money and his empire.
Struggling making that G-Unit film studio out there in Louisiana where that cheapest land at. You thought you was gonna be able to do it. You thought you was gonna be able to get them loans, and it ain't. What's wrong? What's taking?
You already know 50 wasn't letting that slide. He fired right back with jokes, clowning Ross for being listed as just a special guest on the Millennium Tour. The lineup had Bow Wow and Omarion headlining with Trey Songz, Boosie Plies, and the Yin Yang Twins, and then there's Rick Ross tucked in next to Ray J, Bobby 5, and Pleasure P. For most fans, that's just a fun throwback lineup, but for 50 it was proof Ross isn't the boss he claims to be. Let's keep it real. How does a so-called rap mogul build under Bow Wow? That's crazy, and at the core of it all, this whole mess started because Ross couldn't stop mentioning 50's name. But the one really paying for it, Big Meech. Back in the real BMF days, Meech didn't play if you owed him. He came to collect. Now the streets are whispering that Ross is low-key panicking, worried somebody from the real BMF might come knocking for answers, whether direct or indirect. Someone's going to want explanations. And if that day comes, Ross might have picked the wrong one to taunt.
Bad along with the good and show his crew know how to be men, then this what you get. Everybody shining like new money. It ain't no other crew like this in the world, and there never will be enough.
So after all this madness, the real question is, what's next? Is Rick Ross truly sweating knowing Big Meech might pop up for a conversation? Did Ross bite off more than he can chew trying to ride both sides of this feud? And honestly, do you think 50 Cent's letting this slide, or is this just the warm-up? I want to hear your takes on this chaos. Drop your thoughts in the comments. While you're at it, hit that like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next chapter in this saga. And don't skip out, check the next video on your screen, because this story, it's only getting crazier.